This week, we are going to start with a simple garter stitch. So it's knitting rows. And so that's how you will start with your color, your main color. And you'll knit that, and then you'll move into, we're calling it the Bugeater pattern. And they look like little bugs here. And it's a 12 row repeat. There's no real reason to use markers or anything with this. It's a simple stockinette, several stockinette rows, and then you'll do a row down of knitting and slipping, and then a row back of slipping and purling, and knitting, slipping, and purling. So we'll show you how we recommend doing that. It's pretty straightforward and simple to do, and then you will finish with another section of just garter rows, all knitting stitches to finish this Bugeater section. Here's an example of our Bugeater section of 12 rows of the pattern, and want to show you how I have carried up. I have not cut the yarn in between. A lot of people say, well, when you add the yarn in, how do you add it in? Well, you just start knitting with it. There's no need to tie. There's no need to do anything. I have woven this one in when I began, and that's an option as well. But I'm going to show you when you're done with working with your main color yarn here. I'm ready to pick up and knit with the light gray color. And we often talk about old over new, except in this instance, we want to go down and pick that gray up. And so I will bring the yarn, the old is over the new, and I will twist, or I would just simply take my skeins and trade places so that that gray, the dark gray, lifts up the light gray and catches it, and then you're ready to begin working. Now, ideally, you'll want to do that every row. So there are 4 plain rows here, 4 knit and purl rows to create a stockinette stitch, and you would want to pick it up after each one. I forgot to do it on this time, and I think I forgot to do it on another time, but it's okay. You know, it's just important that you grab so that it is twisted and being supported up, and then you will knit the 5 stitches, and then we will show you what the pattern will look like. This is row 5 in your pattern. So you knit 5 stitches and then you knit 2. Note that it is offset. So in the repeat, when we get ready to do this again in row 11, we will slip. So they are offset from row to row. If you don't do it that way, that's okay, but it does keep it offset throughout your whole pattern. And you knit 2 and you slip 2 with yarn in front. And that means in front of your work. So you should have this bar that travels along in the front. So it goes simply like, I am ready to slip 2, slip 2, knit 2, slip 2. And you notice that as a continental knitter, this is an advantage for continental knitters, that it's really pretty easy to bring that yarn forward and flip it back. I will tell you that as I've done this section, there have been times when I've just simply slipped it like this, and I forgot to bring it forward. In fact, I'm going to leave this, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how you can fix that. There'll be no need to take it out. And so don't worry if you've forgotten to bring it forward. It kind of depends on, sometimes I'm working on several projects and I might have the similar stitch, and then I'm all of a sudden slipping in back or slipping in front. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? So when we come back around to show you row 6, I will show you how I correct that. Now we're working back on row 6, and it basically is the same. It's slip 2 with yarn in front, knit 2. I think I said purling, but when you knit on the opposite side, it creates a purl bump. So I was thinking purl, but you're simply doing the same thing. So here we are, slip 2 with yarn in front, and then knit 2. And so you're basically knitting the color when you come to it. So the color that you're working with, you'll see mine is the light gray. You're like, I'll knit this. Now look, here we are, we're coming upon, there is a long bar. Oh, I forgot to, what did I do? I forgot to slip that the correct way. So let me show you. You can leave it, or you can fix it if you want. And you'd simply flip these 2 stitches off. You could put them on another needle. I like to just pinch them with my index finger and my thumb. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna pick them up. And you can even see that one, the first one on the right, came unknit because there's a bar there. So how I like to fix that and correct that is I go down and pick up the bar, and I put it up on the needle, put the stitch on the needle that I need to correct, and it needs to look like a purl stitch, on the back side. So I'm going to put the bar in front, and then I'm going to recreate the stitch. So it looks like a knit stitch, and I move that bar in front. So now you bring to the front, slip 2, and we're back to knitting 2, slip 2, with yarn in front, knit 2. So you might think, I think sometimes there's some confusion. This is the front of my work, this is the back of my work. Yarn in front. Yarn in front means as it faces you. So you go ahead and finish this row 6, and then we'll do some plain rows, and repeat that then for my last section to finish our bug eaters, which is what the Huskers were called before. They were called bug eaters. The last 5 stitches, knit 5, turn, and we're ready to begin knitting with our gray yarn. At this point, we don't need to wrap because it's right there. It's in the row below. But let's talk about one other thing, old over new. So when you're picking up your next yarn to be used, this is the old yarn, meaning the yarn we just finished with. This is the new yarn we're going to work with. So I make sure that it lays on top and that the new yarn that I'm working with picks up from underneath, and now I'm ready to begin working. So I like to refer to that as old over new, or the yarn I finished with, I'm picking up the new yarn that I'm going to begin working with, and then that helps with the trapping. This time I'm going to try to remember to trap my gray sooner than after 4 rows so that it's caught along the way. You could see that doesn't look too bad from the last time. No one will see it when I'm wearing it.